What's up, Metaverse family? Welcome back to beautiful Imdina. We're actually here in front of Littlefinger's brothel if you guys watched Game of Thrones. But I always got altcoins on my mind, so today we're going to be talking about the 10 gaming coins that I think are 10x gainers if you buy them in this bear market. So I'm going to start with my highest conviction, and then slowly we're going to work our way down. So number one is Ethereum. I think that if you're into crypto gaming and Web3 in the metaverse, Ethereum is a must own, as almost all of cryptocurrency, almost everything in GameFi is built on Ethereum. I don't care if you're talking about Gala games or Illuvium, Ethereum is the base of it, and Ethereum just has so many developers on it that I really cannot see it doing anything but continuing to gain utility and continuing to gain popularity as time goes on. As I'm talking here, we're just going to walk a little bit because why not show off a little bit of beautiful Medina. But coming in at number 2 on my list is Gala. Now, you guys know, anyone who watches this channel, that I am super bullish on Gala long term. You guys totally need to check out the dedicated video I just made on why Gala is a 10x coin. If you haven't seen that one yet, it just walks through all of the incredible partnerships that they've been making and all of the reasons why I just really think Gala is a no-brainer to buy for 10x gains in this bear market. Now, I should note that Gala, even though I'm a partner with Gala, does not support any of my predictions about the future of the coin. It's just a utility coin, so my predictions on the future price of Gala is my own opinion entirely. And that goes for this next coin as well, which is Materium. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what Materium is, it is MTRM, and it is the magic of Mirandus. You're going to be using Materium for everything in Mirandus, which is an upcoming massive multiplayer online role-playing game that is getting built by some of the most experienced game creators in the entire video game industry, including veterans with more than a decade of experience on World of Warcraft. This is going to be an insane MMO where everything in the world, everything in the economy is real and interchangeable with the real economy. So I am super bullish on Materium. The lead developer, Michael McCarthy of Mirandus, has said Materium is going to have more demand than supply almost always, as you have to spend it in the world in order to earn more of it. If, like, for example, you need to get past this big ugly golem in order to get to the treasure, where you're going to have to use your Materium to cast spells to take out that golem. So I think that this coin is going to have an incredibly healthy ecosystem. Gala Games also has full-time economists on the team, making sure that these economies are long-term sustainable. Well, now let's move to number 4. And coming in at number 4 is ILV, or the Illuvium coin. Now, ILV is the governance token for Illuvium, and is also going to include all of the games that the Illuvium team makes after the main Illuvium game. So I think that ILV is an incredible coin with a lot of upside. Now, one thing I should note about a lot of the coins on this list is that there is quite a bit of future dilution ahead for a lot of these coins, which just means that only a small amount of the total supply that's going to exist already exists. So there's going to be a lot more of these coins released going forward. Most of them have a max supply, but some of these, you know, like only half of the supply is out or something like that. So that is something to keep in mind. But I think the popularity of these ecosystems are far less than halfway as popular as they're going to be. I think a lot of these ecosystems are going to be seeing 100x or 1000x or 10,000x, multiple orders of magnitude, more demand and more players as these games officially launch, and as just like traditional gamers start to just become more excited for Web3 like I am, because they start to realize how good it is. Oh, look at this cute little kitty that's just sleeping here. And yeah, even this kitty someday is going to realize, let's stop bothering them, that Web3 games are the future. And I think a lot of people in traditional gaming space are going to be coming to that conclusion as well. But now let's move on to coin number 5. And this coin is a little cheating. I think it's maybe even a little bit more of an NFT, but there's a lot of it. And that is space for big time. I think that big time is going to be a very, very big game in the Web3 space. And I think there's a ton of potential for space to see a lot of appreciation in value, especially because even as more and more people start coming into this ecosystem, there's not going to be any more space until they release a full expansion, which they said they're just not going to do until there's just way more demand for space than there is supply. So if you're bullish on big time, if you think that game looks fun, then space is definitely a coin with 10x potential that you can potentially buy in this bear market. Now, I do want to note that the big time marketplace still isn't entirely complete yet, so they're still building that, and it makes it a little bit hard. You definitely cannot withdraw without any KYC. So I know for some of you degens out there, that's going to turn you off a big time, at least for now. But now let's move on to a really, really solid coin coming in at number 6, I believe, here on this list, and that's Sand for the Sandbox. Now, the Sandbox is such a cool idea, and I have so many partnerships with so many legit players. And Sand is going to be a little bit like Roblox, where anyone can build experiences in the world. They have a set limited amount of land, and Sand is the coin that powers that whole ecosystem. It's the utility coin that's going to make all of that work. So as Sand and the Sandbox get more popular, we should definitely see some value appreciation in that coin as well. Let's get Little Fingers Brothel behind us for a while. It's not actually Little Fingers Brothel, but it's what I think of when I see it. And it was really in the show Game of Thrones as well. This next coin, I actually have 3 coins here, but only one of them is released. All these other coins that I've announced or talked about so far, every single one of them is available to buy in this bear market. But this next coin is Town, and Town is available as well. This is a coin that I wasn't too bullish on for a while, just because the tokenomics of it were really, really bad, kind of like SLP, where there's just more and more and more inflation forever, and it just seemed like something that would be impossible to hold any kind of long-term value. But they've completely flipped the tokenomics of Town Coin on its head now. We're going to be seeing less inflation every single year. We're going to be seeing more utility every single year. And I think that Town Coin now has a lot of potential for appreciation when you start thinking longer term. Like 2 years from now or 3 years from now, there's going to be like 10% or 5% of the town that's being farmed now. Only 5% of it, like 95% of the town inflation is going away just over the next couple of years. And I recommend you guys look at that chart, look at the blog post they made on Town if this is an interesting coin for you. But 2 other coins I want to mention kind of in the same space, 2 other game coins, are Superium and Silk. Neither of these coins are released yet, but I think that when they do release, they're going to have solid tokenomics, and the games that they are like for are just really, really fun as well. Superium is for the superior game, and you're going to be using it to like level up your hero and stuff like that. And then Silk is for spider tanks, which is a really fun game, and the developers are working really hard to continue to make this game more and more enjoyable for casual players, and it's already starting to develop a really massive pro scene as well. So really a big fan of these 3 coins. But now we're down to the last 3 coins. But before we get into these, I want to share 3 honorable mentions. Okay guys, right now we're in a bear market. Let's be real. We're in a bear market. There's a lot of altcoins that are down a ton. And that means that there's just a lot of options for me to pick from with coins that have like solid 10x or more potential. I mean, some of these coins, they're not going to be 10xing. They're going to be 100xing. But yeah, I want to go over these 3 honorable mentions really quick before we get to the final 3 in my official list. And these 3 honorable mentions are AXS, which is the governance coin for Axie Infinity. I think that Axie Infinity's developers are still working really hard, and there's still a ton of potential for AXS long term, especially as they continue to build more games and continue to work on how the tokenomics work. Soul, for those of you guys who don't know, I'm talking about SOUL, is for the Phantasma blockchain. And I think Phantasm has a ton of potential. It is, or was, the very first smart NFT blockchain. Now Gala is building a smart NFT blockchain as well, which is, you really need it for gaming. I'm glad that everyone's kind of waking up to that, and everyone's like, yeah, we're going to build a smart NFT blockchain now. But Sol was the first, and they're starting to have some more, they're mostly indie games, but they're having more games launch on their blockchain, and I think that Sol definitely has a lot of upside potential. I mean, all these coins are just knocked down so low. And Sol, unlike that one caveat that I gave early about a lot of these coins, Sol has no dilution ahead. Literally, it has a flat 2% inflation rate, and let's do a little turn here. And Sol is only going to have that 2% dilution rate, and nothing else after that. So it's just 2% a year, which is perfect for any kind of economy. That's literally what the federal government tries to get to with the US dollar, and are absolutely failing to get, by the way. But then finally, my third honorable mention here before we get to the last three official coins are POLIS and ATLAS, which are the governance and spending coin for Star Atlas. Now, the reason this is in my honorable mentions, a lot of you guys are going to be like, why is it not in your actual list? You're terrible. Star Atlas is the best game. Look at the graphics. The sole reason, and I'm being serious, this is the sole reason it's an honorable mention and not like one of my kind of more for sure. This is, I mean, nothing's for sure. This is not financial advice either, but it's not one of my more for sure coins, is just because I have not been able to interview a single Unreal Engine developer for Star Atlas. When I reach out and ask, they're like, oh, none of them are interview ready. And I don't know, when there's not transparency, it just makes me a little bit unsure. But I do think that Star Atlas is going to be an incredible ecosystem. They might be trying to bite off a little bit more than they can chew, because none of the leadership has ever made a video game before. But I don't think they're trying to rug pull or anything. I think they are going to work at this, but I'm just afraid people's expectations for Star Atlas are just maybe too high. And also, Atlas and Polis, both of these coins still have a lot of dilution ahead, which is partly why we've been seeing them kind of fall through the floor. But I still have my eye on this one, and I do think there's long-term upside for Polis and Atlas. But now let's move to my last three coins that I think have a ton of upside, especially if you think Web3 gaming is the future, which I personally do, because Web3 games, they're exactly the same as Web2 games, except players get more upside, because for the first time, players get real ownership. And this is why I am confident that Web3 games are going to succeed. So if you agree with me, then these next three coins are absolute no-brainers. So coming in next is Sol. Now, this is the other Sol, not S-O-U-L. This is S-O-L, which is for the Solana blockchain. Now, I know Solana has been having some problems recently. I think they're going to work all of those out. There's no reason they wouldn't be able to work those out. And a lot of games are being built on Solana. We have Aurori, we have Solchix, we have Star Atlas, all choosing to build on the Solana blockchain, and just makes me really, really bullish for the future of this chain. Also, they have some really cool like fintech on Solana as well. The block transactions are just lightning fast, super, super impressive. And this is down a ton. So I think there's a lot of potential for Sol to have more than the 10x ahead of it in the future. They also have, they have a lot of developers as well. Not as much as Ethereum, but they have a lot of developers. All right, and then coming in second to last, we have IMX, which is the governance coin for Immutable X. And if you don't know, Immutable X is kind of a scaling solution for Ethereum, which is totally necessary. We need scaling solutions for Ethereum, and there's a lot of big games that are deciding to build on Immutable X. For example, Illuvium is building using Immutable X. That's going to be a massive game. We talked about ILV token a little bit earlier in this video. So I am a big fan of IMX here. And then finally, these are not really, this isn't, I'm not sure if this is number one, but finally we have ENJ for Engine. Engine is a really cool ecosystem where literally there's a lot of games being built on it, but anytime you mint an NFT using Engine, you can mint Engine coins into that NFT, which reduces the supply from the max supply or the total supply of ENJ, because now they're in these NFTs and they can't be bought or sold as coins. And I think that just like more and more games get added to the Engine ecosystem, there is a very, very high probability that the total supply of E and J goes down, and just in general the coin goes up because of that, because as you have reduced supply and more users, well, the price is going to increase, because that's how supply and demand work. Also, like I said, we're in a bear market right now, guys. I know a lot of altcoins, they're going to die in the bear market graveyard, but I think all of the coins on this list have the potential to rise from the ashes on wings like eagles and really, really soar, because they're building things with real value to real people. And as these ecosystems really grow and get larger and larger, all of these coins have a ton of big potential to appreciate. So if you guys appreciated me going over my 10, but actually like more like 16 coins that I am really, really excited for as we come out of this cryptocurrency bear market, then remember to drop a big thumbs up on this video and hit subscribe so that you do not miss any future crypto gaming content. Until next time, everyone, thanks for enjoying MDina with us, and have fun roaming the metaverse.